Hi folks, today we're going to do about candy boards and also quilt boards. I made 4 of these because I have 2 hives. 2 are going to be quilt boards. I use the same design for the quilt board as for the candy board. As you can see, I've got 1/2 inch hardware cloth inside. I just made this out of some 3/4 inch by 1x4 rough stuff that I had kicking around. All I did was make it the same exact size as the top of my hive, and then these are going to stack. You're going to have a candy board and a quilt board on top of that. And I put a hole in the end for ventilation, plus the bees can come and go from the top if they want to. But I put a piece of hardware cloth in there too, just stapled it in so that the mice can't get in. Okay, so we have this same exact thing here, only I've put a brown paper bag inside the bottom of the boxes so that the sugar won't go through. I'd like to point out that I got the screen on here, but there's a 3/4 inch space so that the bees have a little headroom on. In other words, the sugar's not sitting right directly on top of the hive. See, the screen's up here. There's a 3/4 inch space.
Oh, I see.
So the bees can get up underneath.
The screen's not flush with the
It's
bottom.
not flush with the bottom. I got a paper bag inside there just to hold the sugar from going through. Now these blocks here, I'm going to put these in like this, and then one more across the front here where the hole is, so that I can have ventilation. I'll show you because you can't see it on the screen there. But see these blocks in the back here, when we put the sugar in here, and the block in the front is to keep the sugar from coming out this hole and from filling those 2 gaps, so that the ventilation go up through the box to the next box, which is the quilt box. So here's the mixture that I use. I got about 15 pounds of sugar in here. I'm going to do that twice, 15 pounds in each of them. About 1 ounce of water per pound of sugar. So this is a 1 pint glass. I'm calling that about 15 ounces. Not going to put it all in. I'm going to put 2/3 of it in there and keep adding to it if I need to, but only use as much water as you think you need to. The idea is not to get your sugar saturated, it's just to get it sticky so it'll all stick together and make a brick and all stay in there as one piece. We're going to add this to this, 2/3 of it, right? And I'm just going to start working this stuff. But as you can see, this stuff's starting to stick together a little bit. You want to make sure you get it all mixed in there, no dry stuff. I think I'm going to add the rest of this water. We'll go from there. Just mix it till it won't mix anymore. I'm making a mess already. My wife's watching me. So, by the way, if you guys don't know this, I'm Roland, wife Corey. We have a little place up here in Mid-Coast, Maine. It's now, what the heck's the date today? It's October, so we're a little behind the 8 ball. You really want to do this stuff, boxes, in New England anyways, in September. You really want to get them some food because there's really nothing blooming, so there's no food coming in for them. This is for them to get over the winter, you know. Store over the winter so that if they're honey stores, because here in Maine we have about 5 months of winter or cool weather below 50, they'll go through an exceptional amount of honey. So if you want to take any of that honey, you best be planning on giving something back. So that's what this is designed to do for us, is to give back what we're going to take. We leave 2 large boxes and 1 or 2 honey boxes. They have 2 of their own, 1 for brood and 1 for honey stores that we'll leave them, but this is over and above that, in addition to that. So now, we'll take this block, see the block where the hole is there, we don't want the sugar pouring out through that. So we're going to hold that there for a minute. I'm just going to tuck some sugar in here. Looks like a little hole there where I ripped the paper. Last year I was still trying to feed with the liquid stuff late in the year, and I don't think I did my bees any justice. I think the dry stuff is better. it stores better and you're not adding moisture to your hive. Try not to put too much moisture in there. That's why we're doing this way this year.
So what do you just let them sit for a few days to harden?
Not even overnight. We'll pull our blocks out. Now I got a hole right here that goes down to the screen, a hole there and a hole there. So they should be pretty rugged, or rugged enough for my needs, and I didn't have to spend 30 bucks on them, which is what they get for them at the apiary store.
Is that right?
Yeah. You know, that's something about beekeeping that I've realized since I got into it, is that you don't have to go buy all this stuff. You know, for years, for hundreds of years, people kept bees and they didn't have an apiary store to go get supplies. They made them themselves, so get creative. You got a wood pile kicking around, or some old pine or something, you can make all this stuff, make it yourself and not have to spend a whole fortune on it. It's all quite expensive. You know, you buy a hive now, it's $250. That's not including your time putting it together and stain. And what I'm saying is, the stuff you can do and do it cheap, do it. You don't have to buy the best of everything. These things don't have to be a shining example of beekeeping, the beekeeping world. They're just for you, and you keep your bees happy by feeding them and keeping them warm. They don't really care what the hive looks like or what the sugar box looks like, as long as it's full. Pine shavings, and you lay them right in here. Load this right up with pine shavings, and you're going to set this on top of your candy board with pine shavings in it. What that's going to do is act not only as an insulator, but also, if you think about it, pine shavings are really dry. If there's any moisture in the hive, which there always is, and the bees create moisture, you got to vent that moisture. You can't leave it in the hive.
Oops.
Did you just do it?
Maybe I'm making the mess.
That's all right.
Well, that's cool. If you make the mess, I'll clean it. So now that I've made the mess, you're
I
gonna
gotta clean it?
You're gonna clean it?
That don't seem right.
It doesn't sound like that's how it will go. That's all right.
Also in the process of shrink wrapping my pontoon boat and my fishing boat. If any of you guys want to learn how to do that, check back with us, because I'm sure we'll have a video on that coming so shortly.
We've already got the video up. We did it last year.
Oh, we did?
Yep, there's
We'll
a
see.
video on shrink
The
wrapping.
next lesson is going to be on memory loss in seniors.
Does that come with a free coffee?
It comes with something. I'm just going to put one scoop up against this thing, or two. Always have trouble with moisture getting down inside the entrance, so I figured these would make an excellent little gutter or whatever over the entrance, so that it's not filling with snow and rain.
Oh, I see, like a little shed roof over
Yeah,
the top.
exactly. I'll just staple them on with the staple gun when I'm putting in the insulation. But just another idea for you guys.
On that note, we'll see you next time.
Do us a big favor. Don't forget to subscribe and like.
These are all set up. Rock solid.